NBC, Comcast doesn't want anything to do with this. They don't want anything to do with Rachel Maddow. They don't want anything to do with MSNBC. They don't want anything to do with the headaches that it all causes, which is why you've got Comcast spinning off these cable networks in this so-called SpinCo. But can SpinCo actually afford somebody like Rachel, if it's in fact true? I liked how Trump was talking about that the other day, and he's like, well, they say they pay her $30 million. I don't find that. I can't believe they would pay her $30 million. I mean, I can't believe it either, but we may get some more intel on this as the company goes public, because we're going to have to see where exactly all the money's going. And are they really spending $30 million on somebody who was just doing a show once a week? What is that about? I will say this, I don't think they're going to be spending it much longer. I think investors are going to demand some accountability. Investors are not going to like that they're out there willy-nilly reporting on things that aren't totally buttoned up. And investors are definitely not going to like that you got a woman with a not very well-rated show, because nobody cares about what she's got to spin these days. It turns out she was wrong on everything, including Russia, and the Hunter Biden laptop, and the idea that somehow that virus couldn't possibly come from Wuhan, China, in the lab. Everybody realizes she was wrong on everything. So what kind of audience is she left with? Not a very big one. And so how do you justify $30 million a year when you're settling cases because you're defaming someone and you're settling them for some $30 million a year? The reality is they can't afford her. They won't be able to afford her in this new, brave new world. Now, there are some people that are excited about this. I mean, I saw the CNBC reporter when it came out, and I guess, what is he going to say, right? He's not Rachel taking aim at the bosses as she did when Joy Reid was let go. But Andrew Ross Sorkin was trying to spin it like, oh, this is going to be great. We're going to have all this capital coming in to invest in us, and we're going to become something new and great and wonderful. You're cable. Okay, buddy? You're cable. And that's all you need to know. Cable's kind of done. Cable's kind of over. You think about what we're doing right here, right now, right? On this little show where we're just growing and growing and growing, and it's just you and me and, a few little graphics here and there. But it's a much more, dare I say, slimly run organization without all the middle management on all the headaches that come with working for a big news organization. And I think that investors are going to get a little frustrated when they realize how much is going to salaries and production costs in an industry that is dying. So if you told me, well, we're going to reinvent this and we're going to become a streaming network, I'd say, okay, I'm kind of interested. But they can't do that. You know why they can't do that? Because of all the cable agreements that pay them. It's like this catch-22, right? They get all this money coming in the door from the cable agreements, but the cable agreements specifically say, guess what? You can't stream live. So how can you be a news organization these days and not be streaming live? You don't have much of a future, not a future where you can spend $30 million on somebody's salary. We haven't even talked about what they're probably spending on Morning Joe. But I can tell you this. CNBC, where I used to work, that place prints money. Still. They make a lot of money at CNBC. They may not have a very big audience, but you know what? They're charging a lot for those ads, and they make a lot of money on those ads. They don't make as much, and they cannot make as much in this environment over at MSNBC, which means, yes, the Morning Joes of the world, yes, the Rachel Maddows of the world, anybody who's commanding a big salary there at NBC is now suddenly in jeopardy in this new SpinCo world where suddenly investors are going to be a whole lot more demanding, and you don't have just a big piggy bank of mom and dad over at Comcast to be able to go to. Yeah. Unbelievable.